Welcome back, gamers. Welcome back to The Crypt with Skull King right here, and we're going to be reviewing a game that I created. We're not going to be playing the game, we're actually going to be watching me make the game. It's going to be a little different than the gaming channel. There's more the game design side of what I do. And I don't know if this is the channel to do that with. I haven't really established anything that I want to do, so let me know if this works for you by commenting down below. Ooh, it's YouTube, gotta do the thing. Also, give it a like, subscribe, do the things, do all the things, do everything, please. Anyway, I enjoyed making this game. I hope you guys will enjoy watching me make the game. And if you guys do enjoy the game a lot, you guys can look at the link down below and download the game for free on itch.io, where I post other content. I do say that already in the video, but you'll see. Enjoy, okay? That's all I want you to do. Just enjoy. Have a good one, guys. Alright, so I'm going to kind of show off what I'm going to do to start with, and I wanted to start with this is a top-down shooter. Not top-down shooter, top-down tower defense. And I wanted to start with making the plots and do some UI, because I know I get caught up in UI, and I know I'm going to change it a million times, so might as well just go ahead and get it out of the way. And then I did a little bit of animation there too. Something that I've enjoyed doing in my other projects recently was UI animations to kind of make the UI pop a little bit, make it a little bit different than other things. And then once I was done with the plots and the UI, well, we needed to make a tower so we can make the buttons work. So we needed to go ahead and create something and then go from there. So right here I'm making the stats for the tower, so that way we can make them public, so we can see them in other scripts. So when we make more towers later down the road, we can just plug and play. We don't have to sit there and remake a whole bunch of code. And then once we're done with making the tower, we gotta test the tower. In order to test the tower, we need to make some enemies. So we're making enemies now. So that was me testing out the background, how I wanted to kind of mess with the background. I ended up not doing anything with it just then. I actually don't do anything with it, I think, until the second episode. I think I just left it as blocks for the moment. Those are going to be movement markers, as the blue things there. What we're going to do is have the enemy go along the blue areas to tell it, how to path it and whatnot. This is me making the nav points, which I was struggling with, and then I realized that what I was using to do it was not put in there correctly, and ended up moving over to A-star pathing, which is something I use in most of my 2D creations to allow it to learn how to move. And I think at some point I end up actually going back to the standard navigator in the game, but no, I think for this project I stuck with it because the navigation just was a bit much to constantly keep changing for a small project. This is called a state machine. This is what those states are, current states and whatnot. This makes it so that enemies can do certain things in certain states and can't do other things in other states. It's good for AI programming. It's really good for any kind of programming. If the player is alive, it can do this. If the player is stunned, it can't do this, but it can do these. Realistically, actually, a state machine is not telling it what it can't do. It's allowing it to tell it what it can do and just excluding things. Base projectile. You're going to see that we're going to make two projectiles in the game. One that shoots and hits and one that shoots and explodes, but again, that's not until later. But that's why we make a base version and then make a extended version from there. And that's what I do a lot of with this, is I make a base version of a tower, make a base version of a plot, make a base version of an enemy, make a base version of a projectile, and then make variants down the road that do different things. The only reason that I end up not keeping with that mentality in other projects is because I know I'm only going to make one of something. Oh, I guess we're on to episode 2. My shirt changed. I didn't even pay attention. So first day, we just made one enemy move. Now we're trying to make a spawner that spawns a bunch of enemies, and that's the currency system. So that way we can make money off of killing enemies, and then go from there to make more towers or upgrades, which I think we do. Oh, yeah, update UI. It's going to be a thing that comes across a lot. I'm going to be ignoring what we go over within chat for the most part, because that's for stream, and nothing really happens here that changes what I'm doing. So anyway, that's when I glitched Unity so bad that it ended up having crashed, so I had to reload it. Did it again. It happens. Actually, in my current project, I ended up crashing it about 12 times in the last stream. That was great. But you can see that now we can place a tower by using the UI. It just says button, but it creates the tower. This is UI to make it so we can see what our currency is. I have this enemy counter here, and I end up never using it. Not until like the last day and the last moment. I still don't think we really needed it, but it's a counter. It does what it does effectively. Problem with like an enemy counter and currency counter is you have to make a call to it, or you have to make basically some kind of code that says, hey, update this, change this. And you have to do that in the enemy script, which then has to reference the UI. But for the enemy, you have to add in how many enemies spawned. Then you have to take it away every time an enemy dies. Then you have to update it if another enemy spawns. You don't want to cross over too many times. And then, then when it hits the base tower where it'll die in the last place, so that way it hurts the base tower, so that way the thing you're supposed to defend. You need to make sure that it destroys that without giving you currency. So you gotta pay attention. Oh, this is when we finally get into graphics. So I ended up downloading, I usually end up paying for a texture pack for this project. It was a small little $5 thing, I think. No, it was free, but I donated. That's what it was. And I wanted to go ahead and show off like how simple it is to take any texture pack that you get and just throw it into the game. Now these textures I use for the background and the not the towers. So the towers are what I bought. The textures for the background and the plots and everything, I had those, actually bought those before. Hey, look, I can't shirt again. Episode 3. Like I said, this whole project was 16 and a half hours, and I'm shrinking it down as much as I can. This is when I start getting into more of the details regarding the towers. You can see the tower has a health bar now. I learned that trick with the circle a while ago. I ended up having to look it up in stream just to make sure I did it correctly. To make it so that the circle is there and not the inside of it. Let's see, I'm upgrading range. Okay, this is where I'm doing the upgrade buttons. And I changed it over from the 8-button system down to the 4 buttons because we weren't going to use all buttons. And then on the right side is going to be some text that's going to say, it says flavor there, but we're changing it so that you can actually see how much the damage value is increasing, where it is right now, where it can go to. There's something called PFI, player facing information, something like that we learned from Full Sail University. I've looked it up. I can't find it anywhere else in the future, so it's one of those things you learn in college, and some professor found it from some text, and then I can't find it again anywhere else. But player-facing information is like sounds, or interactions that tell the player what exactly is happening without it being as blatant as text. What am I? Oh, here we go. I got my green screen for Christmas. So now I'm on to changing up to a different shirt again and really diving into the looks of the game. This is episode 4. I think this is the 4th of 5. And you see they're kind of bunching up a little bit. And what happened was I made a new enemy type, the huge creature. And the huge zombie was actually slower than the other ones. So it was causing a bunch-up effect. So I actually ended up removing the collider so they could just go right past each other. I don't really remember why I even had a collider on them, other than for catching the bullets. But that should have just been a trigger anyway, instead of a collider. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Unity has 2 different ways of interpreting when 2 things touch. It's a collider or a trigger. Technically, a trigger is a collider. It just doesn't interact with the physics. So, think of it more like a bullet in a video game. It hits the target and then it goes away. It's gone. It's gone for good. That's a trigger collider, while a physical collider would actually apply the force. While in most video games, it just is an animation. Whenever you get hit, you fall back. Oh, this is the second tower. This is me creating the second tower. So whenever it shoots, the cannon shoots the target and then it explodes. So it creates a secondary projectile, which I call AoE. This is the second level of the game. So I made now 2 towers, 3 different enemy types. One was the mini zombie that goes really quickly. 4 hours in our stream. Ended up sticking around for a while and helping me out a little bit and figuring out if something looked good or looked bad or wasn't playing right. So I appreciate that. So we move into opening UI to putting the currency and the enemies in the center of this level. So we end up keeping on the left side of the one level and putting the center of this level. Not something I recommend in most video games. If you're going to have a HUD, you want to have the players be able to follow where your information is, and you don't want to keep moving that around. Otherwise, it's going to get really chaotic and really hectic. This is where I look at the on-pointer exit thing. So whenever you click on a tower plot, it would pull up the UI. Well, I was clicking through the UI to the tower plot, so I couldn't ever upgrade certain buttons, and that's why I had to do that. So I had to overwrite what I'm clicking on. Again, more information for the player to read and understand, instead of just hitting a button and then seeing what happens. You actually know about it before you hit the button. Okay. Oh, this is where I'm making the this is where I'm actually making a little bit of the GIFs so that I can post it on socials, stuff like that. I did it during stream because no one was watching at the time. I just kind of wanted to get it out of the way. And I want to take that GIF that I made, and I want to go ahead and put it as the background to the main menu. So you'll see that I'm going to create play level 1, play level 2, exit the game. And the GIF actually plays whenever you're in the main menu, which I learned that GIFs aren't actually possible. So what you do is cut it up into individual images and then make the image play an animation, which is what a GIF really is anyway. So I don't really understand why it was struggling so hard, but whatever. Unity's doing Unity things. That's what we always say. This is me adding sounds, so we have background sounds. Again, this is stuff I purchased before. All of these are things that I've had for a long time, and just had a chance to finally use them. Yeah, everything you can see in if you pause it for even a second, you'll see like I have hundreds of folders of just stuff. That's the walking animation. It's the dying animation. All those are done through that little chart on the left side. You can see there, you can see idle, you can see death, you can see any state and how it moves from place to place. A state machine for your animations, just like your state machine for that you should code, but you don't have to code one into the other. You can keep them separate. This is me trying to figure out the audio mixer. That's right. I struggled actually really hard with it. For some reason, I forgot how to set it up and make the audio visible in code. A lot of things that look like audio in code are there, but they're not really. It's just me making the UI for it, so again, player information. Oh, this is the last day. I do see my shirt has changed. I don't know when that changed. I just realized it. Yeah, we're getting close to the end of this. I was pretty proud of this project, to be honest. We worked on it for 16 and a half hours. Completed in 1 week. 2 levels, 3 zombies, 2 towers, 2 different projectiles, color schemes and palettes that look pretty good. Oh, the second level actually spawns random enemies instead of just a specific set of enemies. That's another thing. I ended up taking this and putting it on itch.io, which I'll link in the comments below. And you can actually download it and play it for yourself. I don't think I'll be making another project like this for at least another few weeks. I do plan on maybe making one a month. But I'm not really set on it too much right now. What I'd like to do in the future is more focus on the bigger project that we're working on as a group called Worm, which you can also find on the itch.io page. But this is me actually creating the application so you can actually download it into your computer. So whenever you create a file from Unity, it just becomes this .exe folder, and you just click it and it comes up. But if you actually want to install your game, you take that extra step. And here we go. That finishes it up, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed me making a weak zombie defense game. Again, you can find it actually right here, BioFire games.itch.io/wick zombie defense, and you can download it for free. You don't have to pay anything. I wouldn't make you pay for something. It says actually about 20 hours. It was 16 and a half hours after I edited the beginnings and ends of all streams. So, yeah, I may have put in 20 hours, but I wasn't actually doing the project for that time. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed making this. I think if I was to take this into another week, we'd add in just more zombie types, more levels, more towers, probably more upgrades. One thing I coded in, but I ended up not using it, was the explosive tower. The cannon tower was able to shoot and then explode, and then I was able to make a upgrade that would be only for that one, and it would increase the explosion size, which is cool, but it ended up not putting it in the game. I think it was just due to time constraints. And that's just what happens. Like, even in this short project, I still had time constraints that said, hey, I did something, but I'm not using it. And we run into that all the time, even with these other bigger projects we have. Any which way, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope I wasn't too monotone or just too not enthusiastic. I don't know. I don't know how I sound. I like what I hear, but I don't know if you guys do. Let me know if you guys played the game. It'd be kind of cool to see if you guys completed both levels untouched, or if you guys died in all the levels. It was too hard. I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to see where everyone's at. Have a great one, guys, and hope you enjoyed. Peace out.